Okay, so this is the last part of the ChainLink fence tutorial. So in this tutorial, what we'll do is we'll create the barbed wire and place it on top of our ChainLink fence. So to start off, what we'll do is we will be creating a line. So it's very similar like creating the ChainLink fence. So with the line, what we want is we want its height to be similar to the box. So what we'll do is from the support pillar box, we'll copy its Y scale and paste it into the length. So with that, what we'll have is we'll have a line which has a similar height to the box, and also we will copy the translate from the box and then translate the line to the same position as a box. And then what we'll do is we will add in the scatter node. So what this does is it adds a bunch of points. So this will represent the amount of barbed wire we want in the fence. So for now we'll start with 5 points. So you can see we have 5 points. And then we will copy it into the same curve that we copied the barbed wire support pillar. So we can just simply copy this, paste it over here, and then we want to copy the points onto the line. So this will give us the bunch of points copied on top of the barbed wire. So what I want to do next is I want to connect all these points and create a line for the barbed wire. So what I will do is I will add an add tool. So before connecting it, what I want is I want to add an attribute which will help me connect between these points. So to do that, I will drop in the Wrangler node, and then I will define an attribute. I'll call it an ID, which will be equals to the point number. So in the add node, I'll go to the polygon and then in by group and I'll select by attribute and I'll define my attribute as an ID. So you can see we have a bunch of line for the barbed wire. Next thing what I want to do is I want to add in a bunch of points and then create a spiral shape for the barbed wire. So to do that, I'll just drop in the resample node, and then I'll add 200 segments. So you can see I have now I have a bunch of points. And what we'll do is we will just similar to the ChainLink fence, we will do sine and cosine function on this. So at P, this will be in y-axis and this should be plus equals sine over point number and then cosine over point number. So you can see it created a spiral like we wanted, but the magnitude on this is very high. So what I will do is I'll just multiply it with a very small number. So what I've done is I've multiplied it with 0.005 to decrease the magnitude, and I will copy this again, the Wrangler node, and then I'll do an offset of 2 on both X and Y. So once I merge that, you'll see I have a structure that is similar to the barbed wire. And next thing what we need is we need to add a spike on the barbed wire. Creating this spike is very similar to this. We can start with a line, very simple line. We can give it a bunch of points. Let's go with 23, and then we can just drop in sine and cosine to make a spiral with the Wrangler node. So with sine and cosine function, I've created a very basic spiral, and we will use this to create the spike that runs on the barbed wire. So what I want to do is I want to just extend their edges. So to do that, I'll simply select the points first and the last point, and then I'll just simply scale it up. So I'll just scale it out like this, and then what I'll do is I'll drop in the transform node, and in the z-axis I'll rotate it 180 degree so that we have a flip, and then I'll just merge it all together. So this gives us a structure that will be our spike for the barbed wire. Next thing what I want to do is I want to copy this on top of the line that we created on this one. So to do that, what I'll do is I'll just drop in the copy node. For this one, let's just use a copy stamp. So this has to go here. So you can see it's been copied, but it's coming out too big. So let's just drop in the transform node, and let's just scale it down. Let's just scale it down to 0.002. So right now it's copied on top of the line. However, it is not facing in the correct direction. To fix that, so to fix the orientation, I've rotated it on 90 degree on the y-axis. So you can see we have our small spike-like structure for the barbed wire. Now if I merge these two, we'll have our barbed wire ready. Okay. However, it's very uniform, and if you want to add in a little bit of variation, what you can do is you can drop in the, if you want to decrease the amount, what you can do is you can drop in the resample node over here, and then this will decrease the amount of spike, and this way you have created the barbed wire for the fence. So if we drop in the poly wire, so you can see we have our barbed wire. Right now it has a lot of points. We will use the resample to decrease its amount, so we'll just go with 0.08. So we have fewer barbed wire. And if you look at it, they are all facing the same orientation. So to add a variation, what we'll do is in the copy node, we'll just go to a stamp, and we'll just create a stamp variable. So we'll just call it a random rot. So this will be the random rotation. So this would be random rotation on PT, and I want to fit this in between 360 and 0. So what I'll do is fit 01, and I'll go with the minimum would be 0 and maximum would be 360. So once we have defined the variable for the stamp, we will go to the translate, and then on the z-axis we'll input the stamp function. So stamp, so we want to copy, so that will be copy 1, and then our variable name is rand rot. So 0 would be default value if it didn't work. So you can see we have a random rotation on our barbed wire spikes. So over here we have our ChainLink fence, and here's our barbed wire. Now if we merge it together, we have our ChainLink fence complete. So if you want to give it a little bit smooth value, let's just increase the division to 6. So here is our ChainLink fence. Let's go to smooth shaded version. So as it doesn't have the normals, it's not displaying it properly, so we'll drop in the normal node. So this is the general process on how I created the ChainLink fence asset inside Houdini. So as you can see, we have added the barbed wire on top of the ChainLink. So please check the link below to access the file. I have done a bunch of extra things on the version that I showed you earlier. So here's the version that I did. In this one, what I did was I added a couple of extra rings on the support pillars, and also I did a bunch of random rotation on top of the ChainLink fans. So I will be including this file. You can check through the link below. I hope you liked this tutorial, and do let me know if you have any issues or questions regarding this tutorial. Thank you.